Hello there, all you wonderful web-wandering beasts. Brennan Valentine, the Pretentious Fiend here, dreaming of a world in which my city doesn't go back down into fucking lockdown. Everyone here is going to know Rebecca Black. 10 years ago, Rebecca Black released the song Friday, a bizarre entity that took its place in the halls of meme reality. It's the best way to say that it was a rough song with a rough clip, but here we are, a fucking decade on, and Rebecca Black has now released a remixed, reimagined version of Friday. Except this time she's gotten 303, Dorian Electra, and Big Freedia on board. It's definitely a grouping. But before we get too far into the review, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Please, for the love of God. Now, Rebecca Black is no stranger to the idea of being a living meme, but she's also spoken very openly and earnestly about the radical negative effects it's had on her life, and that it's very difficult for her to be taken seriously as an artist. Also recently dropping the single Girlfriend, which was definitely her throwing her hat into that 80s synth revivalist pop in the vein of Miley Cyrus's Plastic Hearts and The Weeknd's Blinding Lights. And it was a totally serviceable track. Go check it out. It's a regular old pop song, nothing too indecent. So without any more bother and boggle, let's check out the remixed version of Rebecca Black's Friday. Let me tie my hair back for this. Straight off the back. This track's a lot. This track is obviously, very obviously, purposely this extreme, purposely this meme fucking-tastic, purposely this obnoxious and irritating. I can't wait to see the absolute fucking tirade of "this is what's wrong with music today." Hey look, I'd be shitty too if I wasn't invited to a fucking party with this. Never before has my radical ADD been so fucking pleased as the ongoing Shinjuku pachinko hole spastastic nature of a fucking song. It's hilarious. He says as he jams his finger into his own eye. And you can definitely see that this is obviously not her actual style, because if you compare it to the recent single of Girlfriend, you can easily see that this is a part of her own story that she wanted to make light of, and probably poke the bear of people who mocked her 10 years ago when she was a fucking teenager. And let's face facts, Rebecca Black's original Friday, it wasn't a great song. Who gives a shit? There was no reason for it to become this video that destroyed a young woman's life. It didn't need to become that, and you know, not to be Mr. Male Feminist, but unfortunately teenage girls can't have anything without the world fucking hating it. Musically, this thing riffs on some of the current hyperpop trends, visually and kind of tonal aesthetics, but also it harkens back to things like Venga Boys and Aqua and all that Euro trash candy rave. Part that I can say is the best musically is that second verse with Dorian Electra. The bass comes in and slaps like a motherfucker at that point and just continues to do so for the song. The thing that I have to admit shat me to tears throughout the entirety of this track is the pitch shifted chipmunk vocals on Rebecca Black's performance. It would have been nice to hear her natural vocals at times, just to hear that there's her being a mature adult in comparison to her being a kid. But then all of a sudden that big Freedia verse comes in, which is just a different song. Remarkably aggressive for what I expected. I think they knew exactly the type of person in exactly the type of club that will play this. I think they very much understood their market, and there's a reason why it is that hyperpop, over-the-top comic book sexualization aesthetic. And I think there is a reason why there's that late 90s alternative club kind of tone to the music, which can be very tacky, and is in this circumstance. They know that it's going to be used by nostalgia-ridden alternative clubs who have a sense of humor about what they play. 3 a.m, they're going to enjoy it. A lot of 24-year-olds are gonna do a lot of drugs in a lot of clubs to this tune. And there's not much more to be said about it. It is a unrelenting, candy club, glitzy, hyperpop banger, and that's its purpose, and it is funny. It's fucking funny. Come and discuss it. Let's talk about how much you hate it and why, because I'm sure there will be many people who do. But just remember, there is definitely a tongue solidly placed into the cheek for this track. Anyway, Brandon Valentine here, the Pretentious Fiend. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and do all the things that make me believe that existence is slightly worthwhile. Stay filthy, my friends, and I'll see you guys next time.